Hello, everyone. Did you know that African American women have the highest rate of obesity or being overweight in the US compared to other groups? And did you know that being overweight or obese increases your risk for heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, just to name a few? Well, I actually was in that group of women when I was just a teenager. I remember at the age of 14 stepping on the scale in gym class and seeing the numbers 199 come up. I was absolutely devastated. I could not believe I weighed that much as a teenager. I mean, I knew I felt tired, I knew I was overweight, and I didn't feel good about myself overall, but I didn't know I weighed that much. And from that point on, I was determined never to see a 2 in the front of my weight number again, ever. And I actually decided at that point in time that I was going to change my lifestyle. I remember exercising as much as I could. I bought exercise equipment that was old school ab rollers, and I would do crunches every morning and every night just to lose weight. But I remembered that in the Bible it states, "Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind." And I didn't know it at the time, but when I saw those numbers on the scale, my mind changed. And that is the first step to actually sustainable weight loss, is to change your mind, change your lifestyle. But if you don't change your mind, no matter what you do, you're not going to lose weight and keep it off. So I actually went to a conference about nutrition because, again, I was on this health journey trying to figure out what I can do to lose weight. And you have to put things in your mind to actually get your mind to change. You can't just will it to change. So I actually started to study more and more about nutrition. And before, I would do a lot of exercise. Like I said, ab crunches, just things to get moving. And I was at the nutrition conference, and a speaker actually said, "You cannot out exercise a bad diet." Another life-changing quote that I actually heard, and that changed my mindset. Because before, I was just like, calories in, calories out. It doesn't matter what I eat, as long as I exercise it off, it'll be fine. But I was able to lose weight some with that, but it wasn't the sustainable weight loss I was looking for. So then I went on to try to find out what was a good diet. So actually, at the age of 16, I became a vegetarian just because I thought it was something good to do. I remember coming home from a cheerleading banquet and seeing some peas and corn in the cabinet, and I just started from there. Again, it was a mind shift change. And people always ask me, "Well, don't you miss meat?" Well, what did you do if you would eat meat again? And I said, I'm not even tempted anymore because my mind has changed. Actually, another mind shift change I had was when it came to actually drinking Coke. And that comes to my second point of trying to avoid these foods or drinks that can actually be killer to your lifestyle. Well, Coke was a big one for me. Even now, in my mind, I think when I hear that, like that first sound when someone opens a soda, my first mind goes to drinking Coke. And Coke was just full of sugar, but it tastes good to me at the time. And sugar is not good for our bodies. It causes a lot of inflammation. It causes us to hold on to extra fat, especially for women around the midsection and thighs. And that just was not good. But what did I use Coke for? I used it to help me feel better after a bad day. So that was, again, in my mind. I did not need the Coke. I just wanted the Coke. Some other things that you would want to avoid in your lifestyle. Of course, my family would know bacon. Most people love bacon, but it's a highly processed food that really has no good nutritional value. And it's full of harmful elements that can actually cause more issues than just weight gain. My family always tease me because I'm like, they still can eat certain things. And I'm like, you can have whatever you want, but you cannot cook bacon in my house. I cannot stand the smell. And it's actually pretty funny because I actually grew up loving bacon, eating bacon, because my father was a meat delivery guy. So, I mean, we had bacon all the time, and other processed meats like hot dogs and bologna, which now I know because I study more nutrition that these are not good foods for us to eat. And most people, like I said, just love these things. But if you need to avoid foods, I would say number one would be processed foods. So like I said, the processed meats, bacon, bologna, sausage, hot dogs, things like that. And like I said, I know it's hard because I grew up on these things also, but we have to get rid of those things in our diet to actually feel better and lose the weight. Other things that we want to give up that could be harmful, what we call killer foods, excuse me, like processed foods, would be like the cereals or the box pastas, things like that. Because once again, they have very little nutritional value at all. And most of the time, our cereals are full of sugar, which I already told you is full of inflammation that can cause inflammation in your body and cause you to build up more body fat around the midsection. So you're like, okay, so I gave up all those things. What am I to do now? Well, as you heard, I am a vegetarian, but when I actually went to that nutrition conference, I learned that plant-based nutrition is the best lifestyle out there. There's been lots of studies done that actually shows that eating more plants and having those in your diet on a regular basis that actually dominate your diet actually improves your health overall. So when I actually adopted this diet, I was able to lose the weight and keep it off and not yo-yoing like I did with other things, like when I just did the calories in, calories out diet and exercise. So what can we do with plant-based nutrition? You're like, do I just eat salads all the time? No. I mean, I do eat salads, but it's not all the time. Salads would actually be very good. You can actually make them very colorful. But what can you eat? So for like breakfast, overnight oats is a big one for me. But sometimes people are like, oh, I'm tired of oatmeal. What else can I do? Well, sometimes, once again, we have to change our mindset and think that we initially think of breakfast foods as cereal, bacon, eggs. We don't have to do that. We can actually make a nice veggie stir fry with sweet potatoes or yams and make a potato hash, and with onions, grilled onions, things like that, grilled peppers. And that can be a very nutritious breakfast that's very filling. What also we want to, like I said, decrease sugar. So you want to get rid of those soda pops, Coke. Tell you, I'm still in love with Coke. I don't drink it, but I told you already, that sound still kind of triggers me. So going back to get into the first point, renewing your mind. So think about those things to get rid of. So 1, we want to renew our mindset. 2, we want to avoid processed foods like the bacons, the processed meats, the cereals, the sugars, refined sugars, or cookies, cakes, things like that. And then what do we want to do? We want to add in actually plants, our fruits and vegetables, whole grains. So quick things that you can do to actually add these into your diet is to add vegetables to every single meal. So I already told you how you can add in some vegetables and whole grains during your breakfast time, that you don't have to have just bacon and eggs. So if you like to eat on the go, smoothies are very good. Take handfuls of kale, spinach, actually throw those into a smoothie with some other fruits and like almond milk, and even adding some chia seeds or nut butters, things like that. Very easy way to get in your whole food plants and get some nutrition from those foods that you actually can take in, and not just sugar and fat that you would get in with your other breakfasts. So try those things. So if these things actually helped you, I invite you to join my newsletter at dramandamd.com/newsletter. That's dramanda.com/newsletter. So imagine after just watching this short little video, you're like, okay, Dr. Amanda, I'm changing my mind. I'm tired of going up and down on the scale, feeling tired all the time. and I am going to really dig deep down into what I want to change and actually start changing those things. I'm going to start avoiding those foods that you talked about, and you actually start to feel better. You look better. You have more energy. And a year from now, you think back, wow, the video that Dr. Amanda actually posted changed my life. And now I'm changing my family tree for the better. God bless.